Called GF to find her moaning with AP and she said she's just sick, so I ended it. I, 24M, have been left by my ex, 24F, of 5 years. From what I thought, we had a very loving and committed relationship from 2016 to 2021. We were friends for a while before we started dating, so we always had a lot in common and got along very well. The first 4 years of our relationship were amazing. I've never fallen head over heels in love with someone like that before, and I thought she was smart, funny and astonishingly attractive in her very own way. The sex was magic. It was all game in the bedroom and never a disappointment for the both of us, but the way we showed each other our love was even better. I'm not sure if this was a mistake, but I decided to give her a promise ring a couple months after we started dating. The ring was not a promise to be engaged, but a promise to be faithful and true to one another while we were together. She gave me one, and I was determined to show her that I was truly in love with her. My ex had been cheated on in a previous relationship. I felt as if I wanted to show her what real love was. We spent a lot of time together even though we lived in different cities. Her parents liked me and mine did as well. She had been with lots of other guys before me, though she always told me that I am the best I've ever had and I've never been with a guy that loves me like you do. So, I was super thrilled by that, and even more determined to prove my faith towards her. We had realized we had some issues with trust throughout the years, but everything else seemed awesome. About 3 years ago, everything was still going great with her and I. One day I got a phone call from her. I answered like always. I said hello and didn't get a response, but I could hear stuff in the background. I could hear her there, and it sounded like she was with another guy. I could make out some heavy breathing, and then the words muffled a guy saying, "Are you okay?" I started yelling her name, suspecting that she was in fact with another man. The call suddenly ended. She called me back 15 minutes later telling me that she got sick at work and her boss was wondering if she was okay while she was sick in the washroom. It felt really sad, but I ended up believing her after all. After that things were back to normal, but I always had the audio of the call stuck in my head. Fast forward to 2019, my parents decided to move from the house they had lived in for over 16 years and decided they needed a change of location. I had to move out into my own place if I wanted to stay close to where my ex was. I asked her to move out with me, and she said that she was not ready to move out yet. Come 2020, after a year living by myself and working full-time, I had decided that I wanted to go back to school and go for a bachelor's degree. I had the opportunity to move out to my parents' place, so I could go back to school rent-free, which is about 2.5 hours away from where my ex and I lived. Earlier that year I told her that I wanted to go back to school to better myself and find something that I really enjoyed learning. She was happy about that and I had her support, until 2 months before I left. My ex came to my house telling me that she did not love me anymore, and that she was leaving me, because she basically didn't want to deal with long distance. Of course, she came back about 3 days later crying into my arms asking me to take her back. I took her back. 2 months later, I was finally living at my parents' place. I had transferred through my work over to my new location. Things between me and my ex were getting hard with long distance. I had feelings of anxiety that she wasn't fully in it anymore, and I was right. I got a call from her again about 3 months after the last situation telling me that this was it, that we would not continue to be in a relationship together. We went at most 2 weeks with no contact until she messaged me again and tried her luck. I was alone, I felt lost without her. I took her back. Come 2021, we spent the first 5 months working on repairing what we had lost. I was so busy with starting school that I didn't even see her for 5 months after we got back together. When we did get together, again, it was magic, it always was. I felt like what we had was blooming again. I actually got her interested in some of the things I like to do, and we bonded really well through that. We celebrated my birthday and went on a trip together, and it was all feeling really good. In October of 2021, when my ex was back in her city, she told me over the phone that she had caught feelings for someone else. It was her coworker, 37M, that she had been working with for 4 years. She said she wanted to break it off because she thought it was not fair to have feelings for someone else while she was with me. I agreed, but didn't want her to leave again. I couldn't believe how much older he was than her. I had the suspicion that she was not in love with me anymore as she just stopped texting and became a terrible communicator. We broke it off, and what do you know? Yes, you know. She came back, even faster than the other times. She told me she still loved me just as much as when I met her, and that it was the fact that I was not in the same place as she was. I took her back. A week went by and I got another call from her while I was at work. She told me that it's over. She told me that she had cheated on me with the guy for the last 2 months. It broke me into pieces. I was disgusted and possibly the most angry I've ever been in my life. She gave me about 3 days until she hit me up asking me to come back to her. At the time, all I wanted was to forget that she even cheated on me and just make things right with her. After all, I still really felt like I had met the girl of my dreams, even though there was an affair. After this point, we broke up and made up again until now. Yesterday, I went back to her city to see her. When I arrived, she had told me that her other dude had arrived at her house apologizing to her parents, but brought flowers, a cake, and a letter for her. I thought that was ducking weird. We got a hotel room and told each other how much we loved each other even after everything we've been through. The night was filled with sex, compliments on my body, how attractive I am, how good we look together, and how much better I am than him. There was an element of sadness because of her guilt, but she was buttering me up all night. We woke up the next morning, today, and she drove me to the ferry. She told me she was planning to come and see me in a couple days when she dropped me off. We made out, said our goodbyes, and she promised that she would come back out and she'd see me in 2 days. When I got back to my city, she was not answering me, and I knew what was about to happen. I got texts from her saying how she can't leave him, and how as long as he lives she's going to love him. My heart fell deeper than ever when she texted me it's been going on for years. My ex has been with another man for over half the length of our 5-year relationship. She told me she hooked up with him for the first time in Christmas of 2017, about 3 years ago. Oh yeah, and that call I got? Yeah. I should have known that she was making up another bullcrap story, she was ducking him then. I know, I should have gone with my gut. If you're still reading this, I want you to know that I was madly in love with this person. We talked about our future together, kids, and marriage. I never thought she would do something like this to me for real. I know I don't have any self-respect for myself taking her back. I'm not sure exactly how to move on from this. She was my first real love. I am in a lot of pain and looking for guidance and insight. Thank you for your time. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. Damn, that's deep crap you're going through right now. I know it's hard as duck, but you gotta let go. She might call you up again, she might say anything to get you back, she might beg, cry and lie. She might say incredibly hurtful things whether they're true or not. I'm not telling you cut contact, I'm not telling you block her and try to forget her, but enough is enough, man. It's time to move on, for your own sake. Things are going to be okay. You just gotta take each day one step at a time. Each day is an opportunity for you to heal and grow. Love yourself. Comment 2. Holy crap. This is loaded. I can't say much, and I think that what you need to do is obvious. You gotta move on, man. She doesn't love you if she left you so many times. If you guys were friends before, she must have felt crappy and nostalgic after your breakups and confused that with love, but she doesn't have romantic feelings for you. She obviously cares about you a whole lot, but she did you very dirty, and the only right thing to do now is not see her anymore until you meet someone you love as much as her, or even more. Good luck, dude. I dumped my GF after she became TG, and started doing crazy things with random dudes. My partner and I have been dating for over 6 years. A few months ago, she came out as trans, and it has been a hard time as I have been dealing with a lot of changes. I am pansexual, but I still knew this person a certain way for a very long time, and it's just simply been hard. So as we have been having a lot of fights over the changes that are happening, she recently direct messaged a former friend of mine that I no longer talk to purely as means to form alliance with the enemy to piss me off, as she put it, because my friendship with that friend ended on bad terms, and I dislike her. GF herself told me that she messaged this friend a few days after she messaged her, and the content seemed innocent enough. At first she said that she just sent a hey, but later as I kept digging, she admitted after a week that after she sent hey, my ex-friend responded very angrily and cursed at her and threatened to tell me that she sent her hey, and to that my girlfriend responded with, "I just wanna talk, don't be upset." This seems innocent enough. However, my GF deleted the messages immediately and blocked her. I later asked her what she would have done if my ex-friend had responded in a friendly manner, and GF said she would have tried to reconcile the two of us. Now, this is not the typical downloading Tinder after a fight type situation, because this involves a person we both used to know. And what is worse is that this ex-friend now thinks that my partner was trying to hit on her, based on the reaction she had. If her significant other had messaged me anywhere, my first thought wouldn't be that they're trying to flirt with me. My first thought would be that maybe they want to ask me something since I knew her intimately. Maybe they need advice. Or maybe they want to get us to talk again. But I just won't think that they're hitting on me from a hey, and I just want to talk, don't be upset. What my partner did was very wrong, and we had really big fights about it, despite the fact that she told me herself immediately after, because even if her intentions were clean, and she really just messaged purely to befriend my enemy, and was gonna try to reconcile us if she had talked properly, I still think that crosses a boundary, because GF knows how much of a crappy friend she was to me and why we no longer talk. It kind of feels the same way I would feel if my best friend were to try and talk to an abusive ex just because we had a fight. You don't go try to befriend a person I hate just because we had a fight. Who does that? Maybe my GF would have just ended up venting to her, but why not vent to my best friend instead, who is also her friend? I can't help but feel so small when I think that the ex-friend must have gotten a huge ego boost as soon as my partner sent a message without any indication of flirting, and immediately came to the conclusion that she's some hot crap that everyone's partners want to cheat with. Earlier today, I asked my partner to unblock her and send her a message again to clarify that she had no wrong intentions and purely wanted to talk and maybe get us reconciled, since my birthday is coming up, because I cannot live with knowing that she will get the satisfaction of, oh, her partner was hitting on me. It bothers me, and I can't explain why. My partner clarified to me many times that she had no intention of flirting or even talking really, but did it rather as a way to pull some "look, I'm talking to your enemy" kind of move. Which does not make sense to me, but since she told me herself immediately after, I don't see the reason she would lie. When she first told me she just sent the hey, and my friend lost it, and left out the second message of "I just wanna talk, don't be upset," but TBH, the second message is just as meaningless as the first one and does not indicate flirting. In the message GF sent to the ex-friend today, where she clarified why she messaged, and that she wanted to reconcile with us for my birthday, GF also told her that she can confirm with me if she wants to make sure that I know too. And I don't think GF would have taken this risk if the conversation was more than what she told me, because she knows that if the ex-friend really does message me to reconfirm, she will tell/show me what the message was. And I also know that my ex-friend wasn't looking out for me either. She was just looking to derive some sort of satisfaction by establishing she's better than me because my partner DM'd her. Even though this isn't cheating, I know that people who get cheated on are not the deficient ones, but rather cheaters are the ones with deficiency. But obviously it makes you feel somewhat deficient when you realize that someone you used to see as a close friend is so certain about her superiority compared to me that she does not hesitate to conclude that my partner is randomly looking to cheat on me with her. And it also worries me that my partner's response to us fighting was to message an old friend of mine I hate as a way to shake hands with the enemy to piss me off or mentally get back at me, because I don't want to worry that she will go DMing random people whenever we have major fights. Flirting or not, this is so messed up and weird, and it is so embarrassing. I'm mad at both of them. I don't know what to think or how to feel. Edit: I want to clarify that my GF has never exhibited this type of behavior before. She has anger management issues where she purposely says mean things when very angry, but she is seeking help for that, and things improved greatly pertaining to how she deals with anger. But I have never seen any behavior from her that showed a pattern for infidelity. She never likes or comments on girls' pictures, or is even active on social media. Even though her anger issues have been improving, she has been on an emotional roller coaster ever since coming out, and that has resulted in her acting very recklessly. However, we have been communicating and things are getting somewhat better. But because she never did anything like this, it's very confusing to me as to why she would now. I'm planning on ending this. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. At best, your GF's actions are incredibly toxic. Of course, it's also possible that she tried to sleep with your ex-friend, and it blew up in her face, resulting in her finally coming clean a few days after the fact with an excuse that seems incredibly sus. Either way, her intentions seemed rooted in hurting you to your core. I'd nope out of this crap show. OP reply. While it is true her intentions were rooted in hurting me to the core, which is a very toxic trait, she has been seeking help with her anger issues and her out-of-control emotions since coming out. I'm not making excuses for her. I just know that nothing remotely like this ever happened before. I've never had to deal with her liking or commenting on other people's pictures or anything of that sort. I know she didn't try to sleep with her, and if she did, she wouldn't have told the ex-friend to confirm with me if she wanted, because that would have given her away anyway if the ex-friend chose to really message me afterwards. I do hope though that this truly is a one-time thing. Comment 2. The issue here isn't whether or not your partner cheated, it is whether or not your girlfriend acted like a mature partner. And the answer to that is absolutely not. My guess is that if you were with your partner for 6 years, you probably observed some of this behavior before, and either ignored it as a one-off or wrote it off as something you were willing to put up with. Immature, vindictive behavior does not generally appear overnight after lying dormant for the better part of a decade. Either way, you now have had a front row seat to what the rest of your life would look like if you stayed with your partner. Do you like how that looks? OP reply. She actually never did anything like this before. She never comments on people's pictures or likes people's pictures. Hell, she barely ever goes online. That's the reason I'm more confused, because this has literally never happened before. Nothing like this has ever happened before. And she has been going through a roller coaster of emotions ever since she came out, but it is getting better.